Good evening, everyone. This time, it's not a good thing to be first. Mississippi continues to lead the nation in what is known as test positivity for the coronavirus. Of everyone who has taken a test for COVID-19 this week, the average number of people testing positive is almost 26%, and the state has the fifth highest recorded case count per 100,000 people. Only Louisiana, Arizona, Florida, and the state of New York are ahead of Mississippi. Those numbers are part of the Johns Hopkins University and COVID tracking project. As for today, new COVID-19 cases in Mississippi moved past their 1,000 mark once again. The Mississippi State Department of Health is reporting 1,036 new cases today, along with 23 deaths. There are nearly 1,200 people in hospitals across the state. 337 patients are in ICU. Locally, Lee County has the most new cases with 51. Union is reporting 39, Lowndes has 35, and Monroe County has 22 new cases. Lowndes County also reported the most deaths in our area today with 2. Mississippi State University administrators and faculty have spent the summer working on a plan to bring students back to campus in the safest way possible. And today, MSU is welcoming students back on campus for the fall semester. The Panalytic leadership is the first to move in. Our Stephanie Poole was on campus for the move-in day and joins us now live in the studio with more on this story. Stephanie.
That's right, Joey. Boxes and U-Hauls line the streets of MSU's campus. Now, this is the first time students are back on campus since March. To keep low foot traffic, each student has a scheduled time to arrive. After an abrupt ending to her sophomore year, Katie Garrett Manor is glad to be back in her happy place.
I'm very excited to be out of my home.
She's one of the first in the Chi Omega sorority to return.
I haven't seen all these girls in so long, so it's very great just to see everybody and be reunited and, you know, just to be all together. It's very exciting.
While waiting for the rest of her friends to move in, Manor can't help but wonder how the school year will turn out as coronavirus numbers continue to soar.
I haven't been on campus environment, so it's obviously very exciting, and I hope that we get to stay a whole year, but, you know, whatever happens, happens.
Sophomore Marley Jones is unloading her car just across the street.
It was weird seeing everybody gone so fast, but I'm so excited for all my friends to be back, and I'm just excited to see how the school year will go with this new future.
Although some classes will be virtual, Jones sees it as an opportunity to connect with friends and stay safe.
Like literally all my close friends are right next door, so even if we can't like do date parties or go to that anymore, we can still make memories in the house, and I can't wait to meet the incoming freshmen, and I hope we do good with Rush this year. I know it's all virtual.
All other residential housing will move in on August 10th through the 15th. MSU Department of Housing and Residence Life will continue to use appointment times to keep low traffic on the campus.
If you aren't able to sign a year lease with an apartment, Hotel Chester in Starkville has a way to help. MSU students and faculty can sign up for a 3-month lease program from August to October. Hotel Chester is providing those in the program with dining services at a discounted rate. Services like internet, cable, and utilities are all included in the monthly rent. Owners say masks in and out of the lobby are required and daily temperature checks. As of now, there are 19 rooms available.
Help some people who aren't exactly sure what the outcome of all of this is going to be at the end of the fall semester. We're going to have to take their temperature every day and make sure that they're good, and if we find that there's a problem, we'll isolate them in a different room that doesn't have access to the building.
Now, for more information, you can go to our website, WCBI.com. If students living on campus at the University of Alabama test positive, there is a living space set aside for them. The University of Alabama Board of Trustees will lease apartments at the lofts of City Center. There's about 252 beds available there for upperclassmen. That frees up space at the Highlands and Bryce Lawn, about 450 beds for students who test positive for COVID-19 there. This new lease agreement to provide housing will cost the university more than $1.2 million. The rooms will be complete with utilities such as water, sewer, garbage, electricity, cable, and high-speed internet. Students in Tupelo Public Schools will wait a few days before returning to class. The reason? Thermometers. TPS will begin classes on August 17th. They were scheduled to begin on the 12th. The district is waiting on thermal temperature scanners to arrive. Most school districts are ordering scanners from the same vendor, and there is a delay. Administrators are staggering arrival and dismissal times, creating double bus routes, and making students eat lunch in their classroom this year. It's a service you may not think about COVID-19 impacting, but your garbage pickup could be delayed. Golden Triangle Waste Services is alerting residential customers to not be alarmed if their garbage is not picked up on its usual schedule. Customers should put their garbage cans out on their usual collection day, but it may not be picked up until the next day. Several workers are out sick with COVID-19 or are quarantined because of the virus. The staffing shortage and truck maintenance are causing the delays. Again, put your garbage out on its usual collection day, but know it could be an additional 24 hours before it's picked up. An annual North Mississippi Fall Festival that celebrates the sweet potato crop has been canceled. Organizers of the Vardaman Sweet Potato Festival made the announcement this morning. Committee members and the Vardaman Board of Aldermen say it will be difficult to plan the festival with so many unknowns. All events surrounding the week-long festival will be canceled, including pageants, the 5K run, barbecue cook-off, and the arts and crafts show. The committee will provide updates on any upcoming events and details about the 2021 festival on its website and social media.
We have some great weather developing here as we get into our Friday evening. It's a very warm 91 and sunny in Columbus right now. Going into this evening, 80s and then some 70s here. Pretty warm now, but once we get past sunset, things will be quite comfortable. There's still a little bit of a breeze out there. Overnight lows tonight, upper 60s to around 70s. So another comfortable night for us here with some relatively low humidity. We've been in the right place today. Some storms to our east, but all dry here. Behind the backyard pool on Saturday. Sun and clouds, the heat index around 100. Still 96 though in the afternoon. Rain chances going on up. We'll have that 70 forecast in just a little bit.
An off-duty state trooper is shot and killed while working his second job in southwest Mississippi. And now there's a big reward for anyone with information. The shooting happened on Highway 61 in Jefferson County around 4:30 this morning. Trooper Lieutenant Troy Morris was a 27-year veteran with the Mississippi Highway Patrol. The 58-year-old was working his second job as a postal worker. Morris was inside his truck when he was killed. No one has been arrested. Multiple agencies are investigating the homicide. Mississippi Crime Stoppers and the United States Postal Services are offering a combined reward of up to $105,000 for information that leads to the arrest of the suspect. The state Crime Stoppers number is 1-8888-crimes. One person is killed in a car crash in Lee County. The Mississippi Highway Patrol says the fatal accident happened on Highway 178 near Belden Thursday night. Investigators say a brown Nissan Altima was driving at a high rate of speed. Before troopers could stop the car, the driver lost control and drove off the road, crashing the vehicle. The victim has been identified as 25-year-old Alvazor Fears of Blue Springs. Fears was in the passenger seat. This time, there's no word on the driver's condition. Tupelo police are investigating the accident. Charges are pending. A Tennessee man will spend 3 years in a Mississippi prison for a sex crime. Nicholas Winchester was sentenced today in Oklahoma County Circuit Court. He will be on probation for 5 years and must register as a sex offender after pleading guilty of sexual battery. The Milan, Tennessee man was indicted in February 2019. He was arrested in August 2018. 3 men are arrested in what's being described as a large drug bust in Clay County. 35-year-old Linroy Guilty and 38-year-old Steve Posley were charged with conspiracy to commit a crime. Clay County Sheriff Eddie Scott says investigators have been working on this case for several years. State and federal agencies, along with Clay and Lowndes County deputies, were there to serve a search warrant. 38-year-old Jamie Logan is also charged with conspiracy to commit a crime. More charges, information, and arrests are all expected to be released later. It's the garden that keeps on giving in ways you might not imagine. Allie Martin has more on that story when WCBI News at 6 returns.
WCBI's News at 6 with Joey Barnes.
Welcome back, everyone. A Tupelo man is growing food for a weekend backpack ministry in his garden. WCBI's Allie Martin has more on the Joyner Neighborhood Project.
Jerry Thompson is an avid gardener who likes to do what he can to help others. That has led to a fruitful outreach that puts fresh vegetables on people's plates and helps feed hungry kids at the neighborhood school.
This small thing can impact people in a big way.
While at church a few years ago, Thompson learned about a Joyner Elementary food backpack program. He also happened to have a harvest of vegetables and an idea. Thompson built a vegetable cart to put produce in and an honor box for donations. The money goes to the school's backpack meal program. Kids then take the food home on the weekend so they don't go without.
People are not here to buy grocery from me. They're here to make a donation to the program to feed these hungry children. And I say, take some vegetables home with you as my thank you for contributing. So that's the basic way it works.
Thompson is recently retired and also helps at the school's Discovery Garden. Vegetables from that garden, which students help grow, are used in school lunches.
We really appreciate having somebody in the community who cares so much about our kids here that he would donate not only his time but the money that it takes to grow all these crops and vegetables so that our kids can have that extra money to go towards food for the weekend, because a lot of the kids that we get don't have those things at home, may not have all the food they need.
Thompson hopes his outreach encourages others.
Book of James chapter 1 says, be doers of the word and not just listeners. Don't just hear it. Put it to use in your own life and you know, help those around you. Get to know who are the poor, who are the needy, who are your neighbors.
Jerry Thompson was planning on giving his garden a rest this year, but when COVID-19 hit, he knew the need would be great. So when students come back to school, they'll have fresh vegetables for lunch and meals for the weekend. In Tupelo, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Thompson has raised about $500,000 so far this year for the backpack meal program. To see when he will have his market open, you can check out his Facebook page. And Keith, his garden setup looked good. His tomatoes look good. I'm a little jealous.
Well, plenty of moisture this year, plenty of heat.
Yeah.
Got a lot of jungle-like growth there. In the backyards, too, with all the grass growing. Maybe you're doing the weekend getaway, Nashville, Atlanta, New Orleans. Yeah, there could be a few storms around the region, but suffice to say, another hot one coming our way. Your 7-day forecast is next.
WCBI First Alert AccuWeather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Let's talk about your Saturday. Pretty warm, pretty sunny all day long. Some friendly clouds here. We start out in the 60s and 70s early. By 10 o'clock, 85 degrees. So if you are a late riser, it's going to be hot when you wake up. 91 at 1 o'clock, 96 or so. That's our forecast. It's still well into the 80s early in the evening. Very similar to what we have out there today. Temperatures across Mississippi and Alabama. Look at that. Widespread mid-90s. For a good chunk of the region. Now, let's go back and look at January through July, the first 7 months of the year in the state of Mississippi. In the record books, as far as the 7th warmest on record, the 6th wettest on record. Yes, it's been warm, and as you know, it's been very wet so far this year. For you in Alabama, the 11th warmest and the 7th wettest on record. Again, a 7-month stretch here to start the year. So that's where it's been. Let's talk about Alabama right now at Durham's Pharmacy today. Our time lapse, some of those bubbling cumulus clouds. Now we're looking east here, and there were some towering clouds to the east of Vernon today, and some of those towering clouds producing some showers and storms. Really localized here, right along I-20-59. A lot of that falling apart right now, but there were some pretty good downpours over there. This morning, some good downpours in northwestern Arkansas. They had flash flood warnings, but we were sandwiched in between, the sweet spot, if you will. If you're looking for rain, probably not so much tomorrow. Some spotty storms possible Sunday, and then some scattered activity Monday. Probably a little bit more widespread by Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. And that will usher in some more humidity here that we just love this time of year, right? Early tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock, upper 60s to around 70, as we mentioned, quite comfortable. But by early To mid-afternoon, it's going to be very warm, mid-90s for highs. We'll bubble up some of those cumulus clouds, much like today. Those will tend to go away tomorrow evening, so it looks like tomorrow night, basically quiet too. A little bit of a warmer start to our Sunday, temperatures in the 70s early, and then we go back into the 80s, then into the mid-90s again. A better opportunity for some of these scattered showers and storms here as we get into our Sunday afternoon, primarily during the heating of the day, but the rain chance here just 20%. So I think most of that, all of the weekend will be dry in a good chunk of the area. As we get into next week, there you have it. Daily showers and storms around the region each and every day. Some of you may get a good downpour. Some of you may miss out here. That's just the way it's looking as we get into next week. So that's what we would expect this time of year. Daily opportunities for showers and storms. Here's your AccuWeather 7-day. 96 Saturday and Sunday. Lows getting back into the 70s. And then next week, temperatures come down just a little bit because we'll have those storms around, but the humidity factor is going to be with us. And starting this weekend, the heat index will be back into the triple digits.
All right, thanks, Keith. The high school football tour continues. The next stop checks in with the Moorville Troopers. See how the Troopers are getting ready for the season next in sports.
Is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Following the Southeastern Conference's decision to go to a 10-game conference-only schedule, we finally know what matchups to expect this season. Here's the newest matchups we'll see for the Bulldogs, the Rebels, and the Crimson Tide in 2020. We have Mississippi State going to Georgia and then hosting Vanderbilt for Ole Miss. They will go to Kentucky and host South Carolina, and then Alabama will make a trip to Missouri and host Kentucky. There have been no official dates released for any of these games. We'll have to wait and see what the official full schedule will look like, but at least for now we have some kind of idea of what the season will be. The high school football tour continues on in 4A with the Moorville Troopers. The Troopers got off to a good start last season with a 4-2 record before struggling to close the year. Now the Troopers look to bring it all together in 2020. Moorville is stop number 47 on the high school football tour.
WCBI Sports 2020 High School Football Tour is brought to you by Itawamba Community College, Cannon Ford of Starkville, Monroe County Farm Bureau, Max South Broadband, and the Bank of Vernon.
My son's 18 months old, and if he's in that situation as a 16-year-old, I do the same thing all over again, because at the end of the day, you're more than a football coach. You're a father and a mentor and a teacher, so that was more important for me than anything.
Last season, Moorville's playoff hopes came to an unfortunate end. In Week 5 of the season, the Troopers' matchup against New Albany became heated, and following a mid-game fight, the Troopers elected to call the game. Later, the MHSAA placed the team under probation for the remainder of the season, ending any hope of postseason play. Now the Troopers enter 2020 hungry to wash away last year's end and make the playoffs in the program's fourth season in 4A.
It's been an uphill battle as far as kids believing that they can actually compete in 4A. And it's always going to be an uphill battle, but I got some young men that's willing for the fight right now. I tell them all the time, you know, you gotta keep climbing forward every day and keep climbing up, because if you're not, you're falling down the mountain. So you got to keep climbing for excellence. So I got some kids that are striving in that.
After losing 4 of their top 5 receivers, Moorville's receiving core will feature new faces. However, one familiar face remains for the Troopers, quarterback Dawson Phillips. Head coach Jimmy Young says he's confident in the offense with him at the helm.
They know they got a quarterback, and it fuels their energy to keep working hard because they know they got someone that's going to get on the ball. So it's going well. We got a couple kids I'm really excited about. I think it's going to step in and do really well.
Every step you take and everything you do is being watched. Really, just how everybody. If the way you act is how the team acts. So you got to really keep the same attitude throughout.
Young says he thinks the unusual offseason has added fuel to the team's drive as they prepare for Week 1.
I had really good attendance, and they pushed one another and worked hard. And, man, at the end of the day, they were just ready to do something outside besides sitting in the house.
Moorville kicks off the season September 4th on the road against Kossuth. With the Troopers on the high school football tour, Chris Bolton, WCBI Sports.
WCBI Sports 2020 High School Football Tour with Moorville High School is brought to you by F&M Bank.
Here's a look at the remaining stops, or a few more of the remaining stops. Saturday for the weekend, we start that off with stop number 48, the Shannon Red Raiders. And then finishing out the weekend, we check in with stop number 49, the Itawamba AHS Indians. Last season, remember, they had an undefeated regular season, looking to do some more good stuff this year. So we go into the week on Monday. We'll kick that off in 5A with New Hope and many more stops from there. You can always go visit our website for any of those stops you've missed along the way. That's it for sports. More for you when we come back.
All right, got caught off guard there. Low 90s right now. It's a summer Friday here. As we get into the weekend, more heat, more humidity. The humidity levels start to tick on up. Maybe not too bad tomorrow, but the heat index will be around 100 and it gets a little bit worse as we get into Sunday and next week as those rain chances return there, Joey.
A good, nice weekend before all that muggy weather returns.
It was bound to happen.
Indeed, it was. All right, thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a good night.